Hello and welcome to my kitchen again. How are you today? Good morning. I gotta put my stove together here. I'm gonna wipe everything off and then we'll get started. So, your vitamin Millie, they're goodies. So good morning. How are you this morning? Are you having a good Tuesday? Has your kitchen ever looked like this before you get started on a project? Well, I'm running a little late and my kitchen's going to get just a little bit of a touch up here, so bear with me while I do this. And what I'm trying out today is the new Enamel cast iron cookware that I got in. And I had it on my live stream yesterday. So if you were watching my live stream yesterday, I was showing the set of cookware that I got in, the cast iron enamel cookware. And basically did an unbox and let you see the cookware. And I ordered one set for the camper. Let me just bring it a little bit closer so I don't feel like I'm yelling across the room. I ordered one set for the camper because it has a very small oven. And there's sometimes that I'd like to have a small Dutch oven that I can put in the camper oven. And when I seen this set, they were smaller Dutch ovens. And it also came with a frying pan and lids. So I ordered it for the camper. And it did arrive, and I ordered it in white. And I was so impressed with it, and so was my husband, that he said, why don't you just leave that here at the camper, because we're still working on the new property. We have the camper there. And he said, just order another set for home, because he said they're very nice. So I was impressed, and my husband was impressed. So we did order the second set. And I was explaining yesterday that I did make a creamy chicken noodle soup in the set that I got at the camper, but I didn't do it on the live stream. So I'm going to go ahead and just wipe this up here and put my stove together. And then we're going to go ahead and try out one of the new cast iron cookware that I got in. And I'm going to be making a hamburger vegetable soup. And I don't really want to use a regular cast iron pan or pot or Dutch oven on the stove because of the acid that's going to be in it, because I'm going to be using some diced tomatoes and tomato juice, and I'm also going to be adding some tomato puree. So this will let you see how nice these cast iron enamel cookware, how nice they do work. And you're going to see me trying it out. And then this way I'm giving you my honest opinion as we're cooking today. And this is the new set. It just came in. Well, it came in while we were still at the camper. But I just came home this past week. I've been home all week. And I've been trying to do a lot of catch-up, as you can see. So, trigger warning, I do have the 7 Maltese puppies, and I do have their big playpen set up in the living room, and you're going to hear them romping. There is 7 8-week-old Maltese puppies. And we're real life here, so we don't try to sugarcoat it or anything like that. Okay, so let me get my stove put back together here first of all. I don't know about you, but I just cannot cook on a dirty stove. And it wasn't that dirty, but there was a little bit on there, and I fixed dinner last night and made an easy dinner. And I was tired, and I didn't go through and do a complete wipe, so I just wanted to go ahead and get that done here real quick, and then we will get started. And I have my slow cooker set out, or crock pot, whichever you want to call it. I've got it set out. Let me make sure my volume is up all the way. Okay, I set my slow cooker out. I'm also going to make some potatoes in the crock pot today and just let them steam. Set them on high and just let them steam. So I'm going to wash some potatoes and put those in the crock pot today while I'm making the hamburger vegetable soup. And I'm making these for my freezer stock up. And I'm going to be dividing them into containers. So I'll have quick, easy meals. I can just go in and grab out a container if I'm tired, if we're working on the property, or if I'm just having a bad day or not feeling well. I have that freezer stock up. And if you've been following me, you know I like to keep my freezer meals all stocked up. Okay, I think I can handle this now. Okay, and the Dutch oven that I'm going to be using is the new Dutch oven from the set that came in yesterday, or that I unboxed yesterday. I just had such a busy schedule that I haven't gotten anything done. So I'm going to go ahead real quick and just wash this. And so this is basically just from like taking it out of the box. Turn that light off so you can see how pretty this is. That light takes away from how pretty this is. So I'm going to go over here and just give this a quick wash and rinse, and then we'll get it dried out. And we're going to try this out today, and it is the new cast iron enamel, and we're going to make some hamburger vegetable soup. So I'm just going to move you over here, and I'm just going to be right here, have my back to you, but you'll have to excuse that for a minute. I didn't want to have everything done ahead, so this would be just like me unboxing and trying it for the first time, which I am. This way you're seeing an actual honest trial of this Dutch oven. And I was so impressed with the other one that I picked up for the camper that we did order the second set. So that was my live stream yesterday. So if you want to see me unboxing everything, it comes in a set of 7. And it has 3 Dutch ovens, and these are not real large Dutch ovens, which I really like. They're smaller. A lot of times you don't need a 6-quart or an 8-quart Dutch oven. And that's what I liked about these. They're smaller, and I think they're 20 centimeters, 22 centimeters, and 24 centimeters. They're not listed in quart size. So, we're going to go ahead and try this out today together, and then you're going to see why I was so impressed. I hope, fingers crossed, this is a live stream. Let's hope nothing goes wrong. But I was so impressed with the set that I ordered for the camper that I just ordered this in gray. My husband said, just leave this set here at the camper, because we're here at the camper a lot with us working on a new property. So this is the new Dutch oven, enamel, cast iron, and they do have the bubbles for the steam. So I'm going to do everything in this Dutch oven. And I'll try and leave this light off because it does reflect onto the stove pretty bad, and I don't know if you can see what I'm doing, and there's no way for me to control that. So let me go ahead and get started. I have 1 pound of hamburger, and I went ahead and got it thawed. And if you've been watching me, you know I divide everything up into 1 pound packages. There, maybe you can see me in the pot. And then I put it in freezer bags and put it in the freezer. Because for a family of 2, that way I'm not wasting. Again, you're going to hear my Maltese puppies in the background. We have 7 beautiful, healthy babies in there playing. I set up a big, large playpen in my living room. And yesterday, at the end of my live stream, I did bring one of the puppies out and hold it. But I'm not going to do that right now because we're going to be cooking and I don't want to get my hands all messy. So trigger warning, I do have 6 Maltese puppies romping and playing and having fun. Okay, so that was 1 pound of hamburger. Maybe a little bit closer here. Now I want to do everything in this new Dutch oven and I'm going to try it out with you all so you can see why I purchased the second set. Now I'm just going to turn it on. I'm going to turn it on to about a medium. I don't want to overheat this too fast. It's a new Enamel cookware, cast iron cookware. So I'm going to go ahead and just put 1 pound of burger in for now and just set the lid on. So while that's getting ready, I'm going to just brown it right here in this pot. So I'm going to leave the lid on there for just a minute. And while that is doing its thing, I'm going to go ahead and get some potatoes ready and put them in my slow cooker. Turn this exhaust fan on low. And I'm just going to be using a regular slow cooker, my Hamilton Beach, and this one is so old. That I have literally washed it so much that you can't really see my controls. I'm sorry, I'm in and out of focus. In and out of screen. This is real life. Alright, so I'm just going to get a few potatoes out. And I just got a 10-pound bag of potatoes yesterday, had them delivered. So I'm just going to get some potatoes out and wash a few potatoes and get those in the crock pot while that's starting to brown. That way I'm not just standing here. Let's go ahead and just dump these into my basket. That way I can see what I have in there. And I like to line my basket with a couple paper towels. And this holds exactly 10 pounds of potato. There we go. That way I'm not rattling the bag in your ear. So we're going to go ahead and just pick out a few potatoes. I'm not going to I'm just going to go through and randomly pick. That one has a damage on it, so I'm going to lay that off to the side. That one looks like it has a little area on it. That one is a half a potato. So this is what you get whenever you order have them deliver. You're not actually seeing what's in the bag. Okay, I'm going to put a couple bigger and a couple smaller, just kind of mix match. And I'm going to do 2, 4, 6, save these smaller ones, and I'll make mashed potatoes out of those. And apparently I'm going to have to be using several of these. I would not have chose this bag for myself. Okay, that looks like the better of them. Do you all find this when you're going to the grocery store? So now I'm just going to wash my potatoes off, rinse them off really good, and I'm just going to drop them over into my crock pot. I'll turn you so you can see. Nothing fancy. Quick and easy. I'll take you over here in just a minute to the crock pot. I've been using the crock pot a lot this week. I made the bread in the crock pot on my live streams earlier a couple days ago. I did part 1 and part 2. Alright. So now let me bring you just a little bit closer. And I basically just washed off my potatoes. I put them in my crock pot. I'm not putting any oil in my crock pot because I basically want to steam these. So what I am doing is I'm going to add just a little bit of bottled water to the bottom of my crock pot. That's enough to make sure that the bottom is covered good. And then I'm just going to let these steam. So, as you can see, you can't even see my dials anymore. I can see off. The good thing I've used this enough for me to know that's high, that's low, that is warm, and that is off. So, I'll get these started, and I'm going to turn those into home fries for the freezer. And I've done it several times on my channel. And I actually have a bag that I just took out of the freezer, and I steam them, let them steam for the day, 6 hours, 8 hours, till they're good and tender, and then I'll let them cool, and then I'll just chunk them up, put them in a quart Ziploc bag, because I can lay them flat, they're easy to stack, and then I have home fries for my any meal that I'm making. Be it on the Blackstone, or if I'm making a breakfast or dinner and need a quick potato, I have those. So that's what I'm doing with the potatoes today. Okay, so now we'll go over here and take a look and see what's happening here. And again, we're trying out the new Enamel. Hi Caroline, how are you this morning? And as you can see, that's starting to brown really nice. And it is not sticking. So I'm going to do everything right here in this crock pot. Or in this, I'm thinking crock pot because I just left it. We're going to do everything in this Dutch oven. Trying out the new Enamel Dutch oven. I'm letting you see how well it performs. This way you're getting an actual visual. So if you're interested in a set of enamel cast iron, I did the live stream yesterday, unboxing it, showing each piece. And then I thought, well, it would be really nice if I did a live stream and show you why I decided to buy the second set and how impressed I was with it. So if you're looking for smaller Dutch ovens that you could maybe use in a camper on your stove top, these would be wonderful. They don't come in quart sizes. It comes in a 20 centimeter, 22 centimeter, and 24 centimeter Dutch oven, and then it has a frying pan. I think it's a 25-inch frying pan. And all of the Dutch ovens come with the lid. The frying pan does not have a lid. But this is the largest of the Dutch ovens in the set. And this lid fits perfect on the frying pan. So that's what we're doing today. We're just going through and trying this out so you can actually see why I was so impressed with it. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and move you back here just a little bit. I'm going to be moving you back and forth. I hope I don't make you seasick. Is that cookware? Yes, that is the cookware I had yesterday on my live stream, and it's on my thumbnail today. So that's the box that you'll see on my thumbnail. I'm trying to do this without bouncing you too much. I'm going to go ahead and put these potatoes over here on my counter. And by the looks of it, these are going to become mashed potatoes. And I will go ahead and cook these and mash them. And they'll also go in my freezer. And I'll use that for freezer meals. So anytime I'm making a meal and I want mashed potatoes, I don't have to go through the whole cooking process and freezing process. They are already done in the freezer, and I have them in individual containers. So how is everyone? I hope you're doing good. I'm hoping that you're going to enjoy this video. But if you are looking for an inexpensive set, these were only $129 for the 7-piece set. They do come in multiple colors. I ordered white for the camper, and I got those through Walmart. Walmart was kind of limited on the different colors. So I went with white for the camper, and we were so impressed with it, we decided just to order a second set for here at home, and I ordered the gray. And as you've seen, this is absolutely beautiful. They're only $129. If you want more colors than what Walmart offers, Wayfair also has the same set. 7 cast iron enamel cookware for $129. So that's what we're trying out today, and I'm showing you why I was so impressed with it. It is the heat distribution is really nice. I made a creamy chicken noodle soup with the camper with that set that I got, and that was my trial on it, and nothing was sticking. It was so evenly heat dispersed very well. So this is the second set that I ordered for here at home. So I thought, well, I showed it to you yesterday, unboxed it. So today we're just going to go ahead and try it out. Oops, you're going to hear my puppies in the background. If they get too rambunctious, I may have to go in and supervise. There's 7 8-week-old Maltese puppies playing in their play area. Okay, and as you can see, that's browning very nice. And it's doing an amazing job, and we're just going to do all of this vegetable soup right here. We're going to make a homemade hamburger vegetable soup for my freezer stock up. And I went ahead and put the lid on so this would brown a little quicker. So that was 1 pound of ground beef. And I am going to drain this ground beef. So that looks good and brown, and I'm going to be cooking this. I don't want to over brown it, so I'm going to go ahead and turn that off, but I'll let you see. It's not sticking. I have absolutely no sticking, nowhere. Everything is even. The heat's evenly dispersed all the way around. So I'm going to go ahead and turn this off. I'm going to go ahead and drain this, and then I'll be right back. And a funnel, and I'm going to set this over here in the sink and drain this, and I'll be right back. And yes, I have oven mitts. And people ask me if I have oven mitts. I do. I just grabbed my rags. They're right there. They're handy. So all I'm going to do is just take the paper towel, and I just kind of want to bring down any of this extra up on the top, just to keep it down on the bottom. And then I'm just going to put my ground beef back in. And then we'll take over from there. Okay, so now I'm going to turn it back on, and I'm going to keep it on like a medium low. Let me go supervise. I got puppies. Oh my goodness. Don't be so rough with each other. Come on now, easy. Easy, my goodness. Come on. What's the matter? It's okay. Just don't be so rough. Don't be so rough with each other. Everybody all right? My goodness. You make a lot of noise. Don't you? I think I've got that up just a little bit high. We'll turn that down. I went to supervise. I gave everybody a little chew. Everybody's playing and romping. Okay, so I'm going to turn that down on low. Just wanted to make sure I got all that fluid evaporated out of there. Okay. And now I'm going to be adding some different vegetables. I'm just going to add 2 cans of mixed vegetables. I'm going to be adding 1 can of diced tomatoes in tomato juice. And then I'm going to be adding a 29-ounce can of tomato puree. So here goes the test. Let's see how we do. I always like to make sure I wipe my cans off, even though I know that they're probably just fine. I must be OCD. And these are just 15-ounce cans. I'm going to add my diced tomatoes first. I'm going to leave the juice right in there. And I'm just going to stir that up a little bit. That gives me just a little bit of liquid on the bottom. I have just a little bit of frozen onions that I diced up left in my freezer. So I'm getting ready to redo my onions in the freezer. So I want to go ahead and just add those in there. That's what I like about a homemade vegetable soup. It's your soup. You can add whatever you want to add. So that gives it just a little bit of onions. I just diced those up and froze them. And I absolutely love it because I have them quick. If I'm making a meal, I don't have to worry if I'm out of onions. I've already got them in the freezer and ready to go. So, now we have ground beef, diced tomatoes, and onions. Now you can add whatever you want to add seasoning-wise because this is your vegetable soup. We're just trying out this new cookware so I can show you on do a live demonstration and show you why I was so impressed. I'm going to add some garlic powder. Of course, if you've been watching me, you know I add garlic powder to just about everything. I love my garlic powder, so I'm going to add some garlic powder. And I'm going to add just a little bit, not much, just a little bit of salt, because if my husband has problems with his cholesterol, and he's had many stents, so we're trying to eat as healthy as we can. We're changing our diets. So a little bit of salt, a little bit of pepper, a little bit of garlic powder, and diced tomatoes with the juice. I think I can turn that back up now just a little bit. This is new Enamel cookware, so I don't want to heat it too fast and overheat it. Hi, good morning. Hello everybody that's coming in. Welcome to my kitchen. So this is the new cast iron Enamel cookware set. Same one that's on my thumbnail, and I did unbox it yesterday and showed it on the live stream. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and open my other cans. Now I did not drain that can of diced tomatoes. I think I may have to break down and buy me a new can opener. This one's wanting to stick a little bit. I like using the crank can openers because it's therapy for my hands. From where I had surgery years ago, I have problems with my hands, so this is a self-therapy that I use opening my cans with my crank can opener. It's just a self-therapy. It helps me keep my hands and my arms mobile. I am a breast cancer survivor. And I went through some major surgery years ago. And it did affect my hands and my arms. So this is a self-therapy. It helps me keep my hands and my arms doing good. And as you age, unfortunately, like I am, of course you do lose a lot of grip in your hands. So this kind of helps everything stay as good as it can. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and drain these. I did not drain the tomatoes in the sauce, but I am going to drain the vegetables. So I'm going to add 2 cans, 2 15-ounce cans of drained mixed vegetables. And I like these because it's got a really nice variety. It even has this small lima beans in it. Okay, let's just give all this a nice little stir. I love any soups that's homemade, and we're just doing a homemade vegetable soup. And we're trying out the new cast iron enamel cookware on a live stream so you can see how well it performs and why I really liked it. And why I invested in not 1 set, but 2. Okay, and I just stirred that all up. Now I'm going to go ahead and work on opening this can. It's a larger can of the tomato puree. Hopefully my can opener has loosened up a little bit. It was wanting to stick. It's working better. It's like me. It takes it a little bit to get up and moving up, but once it gets going, it works pretty good. So we get along just fine. Now I'm using a low to medium low temperature on this today because this is a brand new set. If you overheat it, if you get your especially enamel too hot, it can crack the enamel. And this is a new set, so I'm taking it through the same stages I did when I made my soup in my other one. I used low to medium heat, and everything worked just great. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and turn that up just a little bit. And then I'm going to add 1 can of tomato puree. And I don't like to waste. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to be adding a little bit of water. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to add some water right into this can. That way I know I'm not wasting any of that good stuff. And I'm just going to kind of close that lid and give it a good shake. I don't want to have it all over me, which I normally do. But that'll help to release almost all of that, and that way I know I'm not wasting. And with today's prices, we really cannot afford to waste. And I was raised in a very large family, and we never wasted anything. We had 10 people in our household. Okay, let me go ahead and take these to the trash, and I'll be right back. Now, I was taught to cook by my mother and my grandmother, and a lot of times we didn't have a recipe. It was just a dab of this and a touch of that. So I learned to cook. We were Southern. I'm from West Virginia, just an old hillbilly, and very proud of it. So we would learn to cook by following what Mom did and what Grandma did and helping in the kitchen. And so that's where I learned to cook. And we basically follow their recipe, but some things we change. Now I'm going to add some water because I want this to be a soup. I don't want it to be too thick. So I just go by feel and by look. Now, if you don't like the tomato, you don't have to use any of the tomato products. But I like a puree and a little bit of tomato in my tomato soup, or in my hamburger vegetable soup. And it gives you such a nice variety of vegetables when you're using the cans. You've got corn, peas, carrots, potatoes. So all of that's right there for me. It's a little bit too thick still. I'm going to add just a little bit more water. Again, this is your hamburger vegetable soup, so you add in whatever you want. If you want to add cabbage, if you want to add some peppers, you know, just whatever you would like to add. That's completely up to you. Now, because I have a lot of tomato products in there, this is probably where everybody's going to go, oh no. I am going to add some sugar. So, if you don't like sugar, you might want to turn away. And this is 1/4 of a cup of sugar. And then I will taste that and see what I think, if it needs a little bit more. That dials down the acidity of the tomatoes. And it makes it a little bit easier if you have problems with acid reflux. It kind of helps to dial that down. And I like, even with my soups or my spaghetti sauce, I like a sweet flavor. So let me go ahead and give that a taste test. Because that's a lot of tomato. Yeah, it's still very tangy. So I'm going to go ahead and add one more. Then let me stir that just a little bit, and I may go ahead and add just a little bit more water. That looks really good if you want a thicker soup, which I don't want a real thin soup, so I think that's looking really good. So I think I'm going to hold on adding any more water, and I'm just going to let this simmer. But as you can see, everything is just amazing. Now I'm going to go ahead and add the lid, because it does have the bubbles, which will allow that steam to come back down into my pot while it's cooking. So, I have my potatoes in the crock pot, slow cooker, whatever you would like to call it. And then I'm going to make some biscuits to go with this today. And then I've got some other things here that I've got laid out that I will be working on tomorrow. I just took my chicken out of a cold water bath to get it thawed. And then I'm going to be doing some baking a whole chicken tomorrow, roasting a chicken. And then I'll be making some sods to go with that. So that's what this is. I just got this out of the cold water bath. So I'm letting that just sit there for a minute. And I just took these out of the freezer. And this was some different noodles that I had that is going to go really good as a side. And it's like a creamy noodle with vegetables. So I took these out of the freezer, and I will be setting these into the refrigerator. So I have already prepared my sides for tomorrow when I make my chicken. And then I have some broth that I just took out of the freezer, and I absolutely love to make bone broth. So I'm going to be making some more noodles. I'm going to be making some homemade fettuccine noodles, and then I'm going to be cooking them in some broth and making a chicken noodle soup. So that way I'll have my vegetable soup and I'll have my chicken noodle soup. Both of those in the freezer for my freezer meals. And it's fall's coming, and if I have a cool rainy day, then I can just go in and get out a container of my soup that I've made ahead of time, and it is ready. So the only other thing I think I'm going to do is, I think that would go really good with this today, is I'm going to make some biscuits, and I'm going to cheat. I'm just going to make some Poppin' Fresh biscuits today. I'm not going to make any from scratch, and I'm not going to make any from Bisquick today. So let me go ahead and get a pie pan out. Oh, goodness. And with it only being 2 of us, this is a very, very large batch of vegetable soup. So we're going to have vegetable soup, homemade hamburger vegetable soup, and I'm going to have biscuits to go with that this evening, and then the rest of this I'll divide up into containers and put it in my freezer. And I have these wonderful little freezer cubes, and these are 2-cup cubes, and I have 4 of them. So that will make 1 bowl of soup for myself and my husband, each one of these. So what I'll do is I'll freeze it in my cubes, and then once it's good and froze, I'll leave it in there for at least, 48 hours or a day or 2. I'll go in and pop the vegetable soup or whatever I put into my container. I'll pop them out of here and then put them in a Ziploc freezer bag, and it makes them very easy to stack in my freezer. So if I'm wanting soup in a hurry, if I want 1 bowl or 2 bowls, I've already got these in cubes, already put in the freezer. I've cooked once. I'm having dinner tonight, homemade hamburger vegetable soup. I'll have biscuits on the side, and then I'll have freezer meals put in my freezer for any day that I'm in a hurry, or I don't feel good, or I just want a bowl of soup. So that's how I'll be storing those. Go ahead and wash my hands here. Excuse me. My allergies are so bad. My goodness. I think a lot of it's we're up on the new property, and they're doing a lot of excavating and cutting trees and clearing, and it stirred up a lot of pollen. So I'm just kind of home today. This week I've been home doing a lot of baking and cooking, and you've probably seen me on a lot of live streams. So I'm doing my catch up here today. And so I'm going to go ahead and get some biscuits in the oven, and that'll be my side. I'm going to have homemade vegetable soup, hamburger vegetable soup, and biscuits. So let me go ahead and get out some biscuits. And yes, like I said, I'm cheating today. I'm using Poppin' Fresh. And these are have the extra butter. My husband likes the extra butter. So I'm just making some Poppin' Fresh biscuits today. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and move this over. Again, I just took this chicken out of a cold water bath. I just took my sides out of my freezer. So I have some different sides that I'm going to have tomorrow with my dinner. So this is how I use my freezer meals. And I also, while I was in the freezer, found some of my applesauce walnut muffins that I had made in advance. So that is going to be my dessert. I made them in advance. We had 6 that we ate. I froze 6, put them in a freezer bag, labeled them, and today, like a day like today, that's an instant dessert or just a snack. And they're the applesauce walnut muffin. So I've got that covered. Okay, let's see how our soup is doing. And again, is that not a beautiful color? I like the gray. I think it's a nice, subtle, pretty color. And you can see the steam, I think, coming down off of that, or the water. Now, let's see what it's doing on the bottom. And look at that, absolutely no sticking. I have this on like a medium heat. The heat is well dispersed. I'm absolutely very impressed with these, and I would not recommend them if I wasn't impressed. And nothing is sticking. So that's why we did get the second set. These are so nice to have a smaller Dutch oven. That way I'm not pulling out my stainless steel cookware, and I'm not pulling out my regular cast iron because I needed a smaller Dutch oven. So these have the 3 different size Dutch ovens, and they are smaller. They're 20 centimeters, 22 centimeters, 24 centimeters, and then the frying pan is 25 centimeters. So let me bring you just a little bit closer. I don't know if you could see that okay. That is going to be an amazing dinner. Just look at all that goodness in there. And I wish you could smell. Oh my goodness, it smells amazing. And as you can see, I have absolutely nothing sticking. It is still a little bit thick. I'm going to see if that thins down a little bit. If it don't, I may add just a little bit more water. But I am absolutely impressed with these, and I wanted to show you a live stream with me actually using the cookware, because I was unboxing it yesterday, showing it to you, explaining to you how impressed I was with the cookware, that I actually purchased a second set. So I thought, well, why don't I just come on and do a live stream, and that way you'll get to see for yourself. And I just took this out of the box yesterday and unboxed them, and then this morning I waited till you all were with me and took it over to the sink and washed it, got it ready. I'm going to preheat my oven here to 350 degrees, and I'm just going to spray some ham in my pie pan here for my biscuits, and we'll go over the sink. That way I don't have a mess. And yes, I know I'm cheating. I got homemade soup and popping fresh biscuits. But I have been very busy trying to get everything caught back up. My freezer's restocked. And it's been a very busy week. And I have 7 8-week-old Maltese puppies. So, yes, we're cheating. We're using popping fresh biscuits. But it will be alright. Those really popped. Those were definitely ready to be cooked. They said, see, bake me. They're not angry at me at all. They said, yes, bake me. We're ready. We're ready. And I like using a pie pan because it just, everything fits in there so good. And they just rise so nice using a pie pan. Okay. Let me take this. So look at that. I've got biscuits ready to go in the oven that fast. So I'm going to have hamburger vegetable soup. And I'm going to have biscuits on the side. And then for dessert, I'm thanking my past self today for making some extra muffins. And these are the applesauce walnut muffins. And that will be our dessert and snack. So this is why I do the freezer meals and have them ahead. And with a family of 2, it's so easy to not want to cook because, you know, you don't want to waste. You don't want to have an abundance of food. So this way I'm cooking once. We're having dinner with this tonight. And then I'm putting my extra soup in these 2-cup freezer containers to let them freeze. And then I will put those in the freezer. I've got 2 of them, so that's 4 cups. That will be 2 meals for myself and my husband. And 2 cups is perfect for us for a meal. So that'll give me 2 meals that'll be in the freezer. I'll put these in the freezer for about 48 to 72 hours, or if I forget, I'll maybe leave them in there for a few days. And then I'll just go in and what I normally do is I'll run these under water, like a cool water, when I take them out of the freezer, and that way I can just pop my my soup right up out of it. And then I'll put them in a Ziploc baggie. I'll put 2 in a baggie, and I know that's 1 meal. So that will give me 3 meals. So I'll have today's dinner, and then I'll have 2 servings each of soup in the freezer, of the vegetable soup. So that way I'm not wasting. I'm cooking once, and then I'll have backup in my freezer. And then, as you've seen earlier, if you were here, I was putting potatoes in my crock pot. I just washed off some whole potatoes, and I just put them in the crock pot, no oil, added a little bit of water to the bottom because I want them to steam. And then when they're done, I'll let them cool, and when they're cold, I'll chop them up into home fries. This is my last bag of home fries in the freezer. So I wanted to go ahead and pull these out because I want to be making some breakfast freezer meals. And I'll be using this for my breakfast freezer meals. So once these are cool, I will have those to go in my freezer. And I just chop them up, put them in a quart bag because they lay nice and flat. And I can stack them nice and easy. And anytime I want a quick meal with potatoes, I already have had them steamed. They're done. They're froze. All I have to do is let them thaw out. And if I want home fries, or if I want to make, you know, any meal and I want quick potatoes, I've already done that ahead of time. So again, I've got several potatoes in there. And take the top off of this. Let's take a look. Let's see what we got. I got steam coming out of the side here, so let's take a look. Oh, just look at that. Oh, that looks amazing. Let's set those biscuits over here. And I'm going to get me a plate. So I can just set this down on the plate. And I'm going to turn this down because it is wanting to boil over. Okay, so I'm going to turn my burner down because it is cooking away. I try to make it a little bit higher than I normally would so you could see the actual product and why I like it. Maybe I should have waited to clean my stovetop, but it'll be alright. It will wash. But you can see how nice and even that cooks. Now, if I didn't want it to cook quite as fast, of course, I would have it down on low. And I would either leave the lid on or remove the lid. So that gives you a nice visual of the cookware I was showing yesterday, and I was saying how impressed I was with this cookware, and I'm hoping that you can see why I was impressed. It heats so nice and evenly. The heat is evenly dispersed. It's not sticking at all, and it is absolutely easy cleanup. And of course, it is enamel, so I'm using a wooden spoon. You don't want to use any metal. If you get the enamel cookware, you want to have wooden spoons or cooking utensils, or you want to have silicone. You don't want to have anything metal because it's going to scratch and mar your enamel. And you don't want to put your enamel on a stovetop and like get it really hot before you start cooking, because it can crack the enamel. So you have to keep that in mind. Yeah, mine has the white interior. Now, does that make any difference as far as cooking? Not really. I like the white interior because I can see the product a little better. And if it does stain a little bit, or you start to get a little bit of stain, there's many ways that you can clean your enamel cookware. One way is just, of course, warm soapy water. If it's really, wanting to heavily stain, then you may want to try soaking it a little bit longer. You may want to add a little bit of baking soda to your water and let it soak. But one thing that I've really found that I love is the barkeeper helper. And if you have heavy stains, you just want to put this in just dampen your enamel, follow your instructions, and then always use a sponge. You don't want to use anything that's scratchy. You want to use a soft sponge. And the barkeeper helper, or barkeeper's friend, is really, it works for many things, but it really works really nice if you have cast iron enamel and it's starting to get a little bit of a stain. But you can just use it before you go to this. I would try the warm soapy water and a soft sponge, and then if that is still sticking, maybe try soaking it a little longer, maybe adding a little bit of baking soda to your water as it soaks. You can also make a baking soda paste. Just add a little bit of water and baking soda, or a little bit of vinegar and baking soda, and make a paste. And just, put that on there and rub it in really good. But always use a soft sponge. You don't want to use anything that is going to scratch or damage your enamel. And then as a last resort, if it's a heavy, heavy stain, then, like I said, I really love this bartender's friend. Or barkeeper's friend, not bartender, barkeeper's friend. I'm sorry, I'm trying to read the label in the phone. I know better than to try to do that. So this is very nice. I think I got this through Walmart or online. So it's easy to find. And you can use it for many things, for bathroom. It's for bathroom, kitchen, cookware, and outdoor. So it has multiple uses. So I like to have a few cans of this on hand, and if I run into something that does look like it's starting to stain, this is my last resort. And my oven is preheated to 350, so I'm going to put my biscuits in. Okay. So I think that's all I have today. I just wanted to come on and do a live stream and let you see the actual cookware, since I did the live stream part 1 and yesterday, unboxing the new cookware, and then you got to see it visually when I unboxed it. And I thought, well, maybe I should come on and do a live stream and let you see the performance of the actual product. And this is why I was so impressed. I like the size of this. Most of my Dutch ovens are very, very big. 6 quarts, 8 quarts, or a heavy cast iron 8 quart and 6 quart. So I wanted a variety, and especially at the camper, the stoves are very small. And if I did want to cook something in a pot like this, because your camping stoves, your camper RV stove, at least mine, even when I turn it down on the lowest heat, it still wants to really cook everything fast. So I wanted a heavier cookware to use on that the stove top. And if it was small enough, I could actually use it in the very tiny, small camper oven. So that's why I originally ordered the first set, and I ordered it while I was at the camper, and it came in and I got to try it out at the camper. I can have at least 2 of these Dutch ovens on the stove top at one time if I want. And they do, the smaller one does fit in the oven. It's very tight, but it does fit. Where if I tried to use a regular sized Dutch oven, it would not fit in the camper oven. So that's why I come on to do this live stream today, and I'll turn that up just a little bit so you can see the boil. How fast that and I love the cast iron because it holds the heat evenly. It's evenly dispersed. I'll turn that up just a little bit there until it starts to boil. And I will get a spoonful of that out so you can see. Look at that lovely soup. I don't want to burn this up. That is going to be absolutely amazing. And I still splashed myself, goodness. Now I turned that up, and you've seen how fast that immediately reacted. And so I like to cook everything, especially soups. I want to keep it down on low. I want this to simmer. I want that flavor to get through my hamburger, through my vegetables, and just let it do a slow cook. So there you go. That is trying out the new Dutch oven and letting you see the actual product. And I just think they're absolutely beautiful. This is the two-tone gray. I got the white, which it doesn't have 2 tones on the white. The white is just strictly white. I was looking at the box, and as I displayed them yesterday, on the box on the top, it looked like it was 2-tone, and that is the beige. The white is not 2-tone. But the gray, as you can see, has the 2-tone. And it's a very, very pretty set. So there it is. I'm letting you see me do it live. And now, this is why I ordered my second set. So I thought I would not only explain it yesterday, but take you through that. And I did go through and get my sourdough starter fed, and it rose all the way up and come all the way back down. So I'm going to be making some pancakes here in a little bit, and have those for my breakfast freezer meals stock up. I did some blueberry waffles this week, and now I'm going to do some pancakes. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this. It was nothing special today. I just wanted to come on, and since I had done the unboxing and was showing you all of that, I thought, well, let me go ahead and do a small live stream and demonstrate, let you see for yourself. And actually, I can touch, they're not hot. I mean, they're hot enough that I wouldn't want to lift it off the stove. but it's not real hot. But always make sure when you're handling, because it is cast iron, that you have, should be pot holders or oven gloves, because you can get burnt. So don't do as I do. Do it the right way. I'm just old-fashioned. I'm just, like I said, I'm just an old hillbilly from West Virginia. So anyway, before I hop off of here, let me go get a puppy. We got to see a puppy. I know you want to see one of these puppies. They're 8 weeks old, Maltese. Hold on. Now that I'm not going to get my hands dirty, let me go get a Maltese puppy. And this is what's making all that noise in the background, guys. And he was in there chewing on his little chewy, so he's got a little stuff on his face and a little bit on his paws. So yes, we're the guilty party making all that racket. So we're the ones making all that noise. Yes, we are. Yes, we are. So this is the little culprits that's making all the noise. They are 8 weeks old this week. And say we're just all babies. Said you're just all babies. So anyway, I thought I would let you see the puppies. I'm always trying to let everybody see how well they're doing, and they are 8 weeks old. They had their second vet check. Everybody was happy, and they had their first vaccines. So anyway, everybody's ready to go to sleep now and take a nap. This was the only one awake. So I'm going to go put him back, and then I'm going to hop off of here. Let's turn you around one more time. Let's turn you around. Say hello, everybody. He says, I'm ready to go to sleep. He's tired. So, being 8 weeks old and all this playing that we do is really hard work. And they are just cuteness overload. So that's all the noise that you hear on my live streams. Okay, let me wash my hands. And I'm going to go ahead and hop off of here. But if you stopped in today and was watching the video, I want to thank you for stopping in. If you like this kind of video, please like and subscribe. I'm just a small channel, and I just enjoy going in my kitchen and cooking and trying out new things. And I just kind of bring you along. And of course, we do still have the paranormal part of my channel. But we've been really busy, and we have not been doing any paranormal investigating at all, because we're getting the new property ready, and I'm not sure if we want to get the mobile home moved this fall. It may be spring, because there's been a lot of setbacks and waiting for different companies to come in up there to do different things. But we do have, I'll give you an update, we do have the electric. So we have electric on the new property. We do have the water now, officially have water on the new property. And we have internet. So our last thing that we're waiting on, we have some tree cutters coming to take down the last few trees. And then we have the gentleman coming that'll be doing the excavating, putting in the driveway, and also doing the septic system. So I'll give you one more look at the homemade vegetable soup. Let me see if I can bring it up just a little bit closer. And just look at that. That is going to be absolutely delicious. So that's going to be dinner tonight. my biscuits in the oven. And I will also be putting the extra in freezer cubes. And then I'll have extra soup put in my freezer and have my freezer stock backed up. Because you never know when you don't have power. And if you don't have power, you can just go into the freezer and take out your soup. It doesn't take that much. Just let it thaw out and warm it up. It's already been cooked. No, Bubby. So, it serves, you know, it's serving me as a meal today. It's going to serve me for extra freezer meals in my freezer for days that I need a quick meal, or if I just want a bowl of soup, if it's a cool rainy day, or, you know, if I'm just not feeling good. No, come here, Bubby. Ryder, come here. You want your treat? You want your treat? Come here. Good girl. Good boy. And so it serves several meals. That way you're cooking once, and you're making soup once today, and then you're putting it into your little containers. Any container you have. I put it in containers like this. I have different size containers. But I really like these because they're a 2-cup container. And I have 2. When I ordered these, they came in a set of 2. So that gives me 4 bowls of soup. So that's 2 meals for myself and my husband. And then I do the same with when I make my biscuits. Because it's only myself and my husband. So we may only have 2 or 3 biscuits or 4 biscuits. And I'll take the other 4 and I'll put them in a Ziploc freezer bag and put them in my freezer. And whenever I want to do another meal with soup and biscuits, I already have it in the freezer. So I'm saving myself time. And I know that my future self is going to thank me now, just like I was thanking myself, and I was thinking, what am I going to make for dessert today? So when I was in my freezer getting things out, I did find my applesauce walnut muffins that I made, and I made 12, and we ate 6, and I put 6 in the freezer. So I laid those out this morning, so that is going to make an amazing dessert, and we'll snack on the rest of that. So that's me thanking my past self for doing that. So, as always, you know, enjoy your kitchen. Come in and have fun. Don't be afraid to try new things. It's always fun to try new things in your kitchen. And you're never too old or too young to learn new things. And I enjoy trying out new products. I'm not affiliated with these in any way. I want to make sure I say that. It's on my thumbnail if you're wanting to know what name brand. That is my thumbnail that I put on my live stream today. And it's showing it in red, and this is the gray. That's the color that I'm using today. So that is my demonstration. I thought, well, I unboxed it, and I told you how much I liked it. And I thought, well, maybe I should come on and just let you see me actually use it, since I was going to be using it today. And so if you're thinking about investing in some cast iron enamel, this is an inexpensive set of 7 for $129. You can get it through Walmart or Wayfair. And if you look on my thumbnail, the box on my thumbnail is this set. It comes a set of 7. You have the 3 Dutch ovens, and they're not listed in quarts. It's 20 centimeters Dutch oven, 22 centimeter Dutch oven, 24 centimeter Dutch oven, and I think it's a 25 inch or 25 centimeter frying pan. All of the Dutch ovens comes with a lid, but the frying pan does not come with a lid. But your lid from this largest Dutch oven does fit perfectly on your frying pan. So I thought I'd bring you along today while I made some homemade hamburger vegetable soup. And that is going to be absolutely amazing. And you got to see me use the cookware. And it did not stick. Of course, I didn't take it to high heat. I kept it between low and low medium because this is a soup and I just want this to cook and simmer and let all those wonderful flavors get all the way through my soup. So anyway, that's all I have today. I'm going to go ahead and hop off of here. My puppies are getting a little bit restless. And Mommy and Daddy, aunties, may need to go, you know where. I'm not going to say it. So anyway, I'll catch you the next time. So thank you for joining me in the kitchen. I hope you enjoyed this. If you're thinking about investing in a inexpensive, it's not very expensive, complete set, there's 7 pieces in this set for $129. And you can get it through Walmart. Now they are limited on their color choices at Walmart. That's why I went with the white at Walmart. And then I thought I'd like the gray, and Walmart didn't carry the two-tone gray, so I got this one through Wayfair. But they both are the same price, $129, and I absolutely love the gray. I think that was a really nice choice. I love the two-tone. And I just think they're absolutely beautiful. They do a wonderful job. So would I recommend them? I absolutely would. If you're looking for just something that has different size Dutch ovens, so you're not using a really large Dutch oven like you would if you're making sourdough bread, or if you're in an RV like us in a camper, and you want a smaller Dutch oven that you want to be able to use on your camper stove. These are 3 different smaller size and options of Dutch ovens. So I like having that extra options in sizes. Most of my Dutch ovens, I might bump you, are this size, and this is big. So when I'm making my sourdough bread or making really, really big things, this is amazing. But I wanted something that was small, something I could use in the camper when we're at the camper, and it also gives me a variety. Now I didn't want to bring out that great big Dutch oven today, so I did bring out the smaller, the new Dutch oven, and I wanted to let you see the Dutch oven, and that way you got to see me using it for the first time. And there you go. There you have it. So anyway, that's all I've got today. I'm going to hop off of here. I'm going to heat my coffee back up. Because as usual, I'm sure my coffee is cold. Indeed it is. And I did put my potatoes in the crock pot. All I did was wash them. I left the peelings on them, and I'm steaming those, and I'll just leave them on high. I added a little bit of bottled water into the crock pot, just enough to cover the bottom, because I want those to steam, and I set them on high, so they'll be on high. And then when they're done, I'm going to let them cool off, because I need to restock my home fries in my freezer. This is the last one I had, and I took this out yesterday and put it in the refrigerator to thaw. So that way I can restock my home fries. So I thought I'd bring you along today. I'm doing freezer stock up and dinner for today. Dinner for today is going to be hamburger, vegetable soup, and biscuits. And then I will have the potatoes steamed in the crock pot, and I will have those cubed up. And I like to put them in quart bags because that's just myself and my husband, and that's just the perfect amount of potatoes for the 2 of us, because I don't like to waste. And sorry. We're still in the mobile home park. Ryder, Lily, hey, babies, look here. Look, hey, come here, babies. Okay, well, they're hearing traffic, so it's getting to that time where people are coming in and out for lunch. So I'm gonna hop off of here. Sorry about the noise, but we're real life here. I'll catch you the next time. Bye-bye, everyone. I hope you enjoyed this. You got to see me use it for the first time. And see you the next time. Sorry. Bye-bye. He's getting too loud. Bye-bye, everybody. You have a wonderful day.